Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 114. In today's episode, we are going to dive into the 11 reasons why you actually met your twin flame. Why did you come across with something so intense, so transformative? Why do you need to suffer on this journey? Why there is a reason that apparently there is you in another body and now you met them in this 3D world and you can't get them out of your mind. You can't move on. You feel like this is going to kill you, and in certain ways it is going to kill you. Just to say that it's not an easy story. It's not a romantic love story where you meet someone, where you have such an intense connection, and then you have all of these beautiful things. In fact, it's a little bit of an opposite. Often you don't even have a real relationship. Often you don't even hear from them after the first meeting. And sometimes you don't even meet them in real life because we nowadays have a technology to connect. And sometimes you just see the visions of them in your meditations or in your dreams. And then it might be just a glimpse of your 3D world where you see them and it hits right to your heart, right to your soul. Just before we are moving forward from here, to say that twin flame journey will not make sense. And the earlier you make a peace with that, the better it is. But in today's episode, I want to dive into the 11 reasons why you met your twin flame, because it's not an accident. Your twin flame didn't come to your life, or the fact that you encountered such a powerful connection in 3D that it was just a coincidence. None of this in this world, none of in this hologram, none of in this universe is an accident. The time you met your twin flame was a divine timing. So we often talk about divine timing. And in today's episode, I don't actually recommend you to listen this episode like within one go. I would like you to take a lot of reflection. Take a moment, listen what I say, maybe pause and write yourself things down, how it was, and you will have a bigger picture. And why do I say this? Is that we are receiving so much information while we are in a separation, while we don't understand what is happening to us. And in today's episode, I am making you to reflect back on this journey. And if you are serious about figuring it out, what your twin tried to show you, what your twin told you, then this is the episode for you, and take this as a little workshop, little reflection, connection, and seeing how everything to the moment you met was connected. And actually the first thing that I really would like to say is the fact of how you met. So if you think about all of the possibilities, the way you met your twin, and I would like you to also write in the comments or leave a story behind, or you can email to me, twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com or info@twinflameawakeningjourney.com. I have quite a lot of stories lined up, so they will come as well. So if you want to share yours, how you met, and what were the possibilities. I like when we often say about, oh, what a coincidence. Look, you and me happen to be here right now, right here. But then later on, if you will start diving into it, you realize none of you were supposed to be there. None of you were having this in their imagination that is going to happen. And it's like, doesn't make sense at all. Like, for example, you were supposed to be in a different job position, or you were supposed to be in a different job, or you were in a financial difficulties and you had to take an extra job, or you were in a restaurant where, let's say, you were supposed to be on a date with somebody else, but you ran into this person, or there was just a moment of friend's house and this person walked in and he was not supposed to be there. So really think about that. And why I say that? Because your twin flame came to tell you and show you what is a divine timing. Divine timing is not something you plan. Divine timing is what you trust. So for example, in certain ways, you always knew that there is a deeper connection. And I've spoken about this in my previous episodes, but if you look at back of all of the things that you have done in your life until today, whether it's learning a language, whether it's a dream of traveling to some country, whether you're feeling always very much connected to something, whether you have a birthmark somewhere, or there are a lot of things that have been always with you, and they've been guiding you to up until this moment you meet your twin. But on that moment, of course, when you meet your twin, you don't think of the past at all, because the time stops. Everything feels like one. There is no time, there is no space, there is no one around you, like everything melts into oneness. Time and space are distorted from that moment on. But when you think of it, how you met your twin, and I would really like you to write this down, even for the comments, for others to have the inspiration, because not everybody gets to hear the stories the way I have a privilege of hearing all of your stories. That what were the situations that were leading you up? And I'm just going to say that I've said that before on my previous episodes, but I remember very clearly that I had a client coming to me and asking me to help her to market her services. And I told her, I see what you're doing, but I don't understand what you're doing exactly. Would you mind doing this for me, that I would have an understanding what your services are about, and that I could offer for others that will be helpful. And this is how I always do. I never ever dive into something I don't believe in, I don't trust, or I do that because of X amount of money. I don't see the point of this. I am here to serve, and that has been always my idea. And so that lady actually appeared from nowhere, and she was doing such things like Akashic records, soul realignment, I think like in a house to get rid of the ghosts or something like that. So she did a soul realignment for me and the Akashic records. To be honest, I was very much like, all right, okay, no emotions whatsoever. But the soul realignment was very interesting. I did feel it was a 21-day process, and I did feel every time that there's something deep and started to grow in me. And now again, I can do that only because I was reflecting back. We will have in the future a soul realignment, and that's what we do a lot on the retreats actually. We are aligning your frequency. That's why we're using the sounds, that's why we're using the visuals, that's what we are using your truth, to align you into your alignment. And the next one, what we have is in Costa Rica. So you're more than welcome to join us if you feel like you're ready for this. But coming back to this solar realignment, I did all of this. I felt connected. I felt really good, to be honest. But I wasn't ready what comes afterwards. And when after 2 months of soul realignment, I ran into my twin in a place where I should have never run into him, in a job that I was never doing in my life before, never ever. But the life made me to go there. It was like, I was like a puppet of someone. Like, if I look back, I'm like, and it was a very short period of time of my life. And that's what is divine timing. We are going to do on this journey a lot of things that doesn't make sense. And if you are wondering about the union, then you need to have a trust. The moment you have a doubt that this is not a twin flame journey, this is not real, this is not what is happening to me, you are sending out a opposite energy, which means you're going to block the universe to take care of it. Your job is not to make this happen. Your job is to give it out the energy, follow that energy and trust it. Just to say, the trust is very, very difficult when we don't see the end result. But I just wanted that today, with that energy, you will think of how on earth you met your twin. What were the possibilities? The place you were, the people you met, the things you did, the way you feel, everything. Like if you really imagine, what were your possibilities? And did you somehow know that it's going to happen? Did something inside of you already told you that, here you go, this is what it is? But of course, when this all happens to us, we are very, very, very confused. It's that there is no textbook over here. So that's why I would like you to take you to the reflect back on this journey. The next thing, of course, that is a very, very obvious thing, is you are going to feel an unconditional love. And that's also part of why this journey of trusting, why you need to embrace that love and open your heart is important. We as a humanity have a bit of a wrong understanding of love. And that's okay, because now you're here to heal, transform, and be the light for everyone. I see this very often when people's desires don't happen or the way they want, because they don't listen to the universe, what universe has them in plan for them. And they forget about love. They go into the state of fight and flight, and it's all about, you didn't love me, I'm not going to love you. You didn't do this to me, I'm not going to respond to you. All of this unblocking and blocking and all of that. I'm just going to tell you, there is nothing wrong you have done. But that's not unconditional love. And the fact that you had a chance of feeling this unconditional love, that's why so many of us have that fear that, will I ever feel this love again? Will I ever feel that high again? Will I ever feel that connected again? And will there ever be another person? I'm going to say that these questions are very normal, and so don't feel like you are asking a wrong question over here. Because when you're hit with this unconditional love, where many of you can say that, I don't care what comes from here. I can live under the bridge with my twin. I could have no money. I don't care what comes from here. Many of us are even willing to, turn the backs on their families and a lot of things, because all of a sudden none of this matters. And here you hear something I just said. In unconditional love, none of it matters. None of the ego games matter. But as unconditional love is the medicine of the earth, medicine of every human, or actually for every cell who lives on this earth, we need to realize that in order to open the hearts, we need to open our hearts. Which means if someone doesn't reply to us within love, we don't go into the state of hate. If someone is not there with their kindness yet, that we don't go and do the same back. We need to stay with open hearts. There was another day, 2 days ago or something, I was channeling and I was putting back on the fact that I was thinking of many things, not thinking, but a lot of information came to me. And I was thinking, we pray for people who, a lot of in the world, we praise people, as if we talk about celebrities, or that are mean to others, or that are using other people or abusing other people, that how on earth this is fair. But that's not the question of today in that sense. I had a long discussion with myself about it, but I felt that the reason is because we accept the love, or we accept the treatment that we shouldn't accept. We do things for a gold. We praise people we shouldn't praise. We buy things from them we shouldn't. And so I always say that everything is energy. So think of your energy as the highest value. Where would you spend it? What would you like this energy to become? And how you can make this world in unconditional love. So your twin came to really to show you what is unconditional love, because that's going to heal everything. Your health, others' health, it's something that we still cannot, in a certain way, of understand what love is. How can we love people that are no longer here, but we still feel love to them? How can we experience such a big emotion that we cannot brush it away? It's not something you invent. It's not something I see someone and I'll be like, wow, I'm in love with you. It like happens to you. And unconditional love for you is one of the best gifts of this journey. Now, of course, there is another thing you often hear is a mirror. And this is something I would like you to also take today quite seriously. Think about the fact of when you look at your twin today and they're running, they are not responding. They might have said to you, I don't love you, I didn't feel what you felt, that's not real. Or they might have said to you that I love you, but I'm not ready for it. Everything that your twin has told you, and I just bring here some examples because sometimes we might forget. And here might some things that your twin have said or have expressed it to others without even knowing that this is real for them. Whether it is, this is too intense for me, or I'm not ready for this kind of relationship, or I need space to figure things out, or I'm afraid of getting hurt, or I don't deserve this kind of love, or I don't understand what is happening between us. What is this thing? It feels like too much pressure. I just need to focus on myself right now, and I don't feel the same way. This isn't what I expected from a relationship. I'm scared of losing my freedom, or I'm scared of losing my life, or I'm scared of the change that is about to come. I can't handle this emotional roller coaster. You're too good for me. I'm scared of how much I actually feel for you. This feels too real, and it scares me. This connection feels impossible. And I'm just about to say that when we use these words, there's often a feeling like there's something wrong with me. But all of these are the ones that now you need to turn around. Why we are afraid of the pressure. Unconditional love is very, very different than conditioned love. Unconditional love is not I like you and you like me. Unconditional love is inside of you. Meaning of you can express your love to anyone without expecting them to tell this back to you. You can be you in the best version of you without feeling that you should be somebody else or you should fit in somewhere. And I'm going to say that this is not as easy as it sounds. The word unconditional love sounds like very easy. But as soon as we feel left out, or as soon as we feel that we don't understand, or as soon as we feel it's too complicated, we go into a defensive mode, myself included. Before that journey, I would go to a defensive mode. It took me quite some time to practice unconditional love. Meaning of that sometimes I might get hurt over here, but it doesn't mean that I will not respond with love. And with a hurt, I deal today, not tomorrow. But it's something to master, and it's for a lifetime. And I want to say this in here as well. All of these things, when we think of, like I said, 2025 is going to be a lot about releasing. That was in a previous episode, what this year will bring. And it's about releasing. And we often think that when we do something one time or two times, or we do once in every here and there, that it's going to work magic. With working with energies, it's continuous. It's like taking a shower every day. Every day you need to connect with that. Some days it's easier and some days it's harder. I always say, try to be your own best friend. Don't take this as a challenge, but take this as your lifestyle. And remind yourself every day about this love. And why I talk about today also about reflecting so much back on when you met, what happened to you, how did you feel, what were the ways of, how did you actually meet? Because I want you to feel that love again. This unconditional love is the next step of your journey. And so the mirror is now the fact of you see them running. You see what they're posting on social media. You see what they're doing. And really look at this and see, am I doing the same for myself? Am I trying to be somebody else that I'm not? Am I speaking the truth? Can today, for example, can I today say and walk up to my twin and say, you know what? When I met you, I felt something so divine that I have never felt before, without any expectation how they're going to respond. Whether they're going to say, no, I never felt anything, or they say, oh my God, yes, I did. Can you own that truth without expecting them to say it back? And why I say that? On this journey, you need to go back to the basic energies. What is the trust, unconditional love, and connection, and also frequency. If all of these pillars you get right, your life is going to do 180 degrees. So, and that brings us to the next thing. When we work with our mirrors, when we work what our twin told us. And I bring you to this thing that your twin very clearly showed or told you who you are, what you should do next, what do they see in you, how do they see in you, and what do they admire or love about you. And this is now sometimes your twin doesn't say a single word, but sometimes they tell you everything. And that's the next thing I really would like you to stop and pause. Think about it. What did they show me of who I am and what I can do in this world? Did they tell you that I am very kind to people, or that they feel very comfortable around me? Or do they say they like my writing, or they like my music, or they like the way I do this or that? Or what do they do currently? Paulo Coelho has said that very well, that in the sense that we have a tendency to live others' life without knowing how to live our own. And this is also one of the things over here, that when we see that someone is reflecting something too bad, something for us, something showing to us, then go deep inside and just look at this. Why am I feeling so deeply about that? And that is the soul growth and soul purpose. That your twin, I am 100% sure, if you close your eyes today, even in a meditation, you're able to remember or see the soul's journey, what they told you, or what did they show you. Because there is a very, very clear pattern over there. Your twin came to your life to show you who you are supposed to be. And that brings us to the next thing, is aligning with your purpose. At least what I see it, and there are some exceptions. But so far, what I have collected as a data and all of the things that I put together based on your stories, the union, so-called, in the sense of getting the truth out of your twins' mouth, of saying, yes, I felt the same way, or I've been distancing because of that, or I have done this and that, happens in the times when you are in alignment, in your soul purpose alignment. I am also a believer that it has to happen when your frequency has shifted. And this is why you can try to control that from the mind. And it might work for you. But as much as I read all of the books, all of the things, and I keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper, and the answer is always the same: shift your frequency. The moment you're able to shift your frequency, which means you are gonna work with the energy, you're gonna let go of the old, you're going to, all of these things that they mirror and they told you, you're gonna put them into the work and changing the frequency with unconditional love, because that's the power. Think of this like a super wand you have now. You have the superpower, which is unconditional love. It heals, transforms, and changes. And that's why on this journey, I beg you, in 2025, don't do that to yourself, where you go in and out of thinking, do they love me or they don't love me? Why I never hear them from before? Why I never see them before? I don't know if I would tell you the story that I had another day, like a light bulb moment again of realizing, wow, that journey was so written in everything. But I see, maybe in the future, maybe in here. So when your purpose is aligned and your frequency is aligned, you are going to do magic with everything. And you are here for a service of others. It's not about you. It's not about them. It's about connecting with that power you were given. And what I believe is when you are in alignment and in your purpose and you are serving for others, and it's not about you, how I will benefit from this more, how I will be happy, how I will get more. No, it's about serving for others to show that love. Universe will give you a gift. This is why you cannot figure this out. It's all about aligning within all of this. So whatever today you were able to recollect of, oh, I felt this way, oh, this happened to me, he told me this or she told me this and they showed me this, then it was a reason for that. And listen to this. Don't try to figure this out. Try to trust this, what they told you. And I know it's hard when our heart is not open. Again, I just recently put the heart activation meditation, and more is coming, of course. And we have next Sunday a live session, but we start with the purpose of alignment. Next Sunday on Patreon, we have a session of aligning with your soul, aligning with the purpose, as that many of you are looking. And what's the better way to start the year than aligning with your purpose, aligning with your soul? There will be the same 21-day workshop, like the continuous thing, who wants to continue from there. But you will, I'm not saying you cannot hear from your twin, but before you don't step into that frequency, I don't think so. And we see this with quantum physics and quantum entanglement and everything, that we have parallel universes and we have multiverses and all of these things are happening. But only way to get there is to shift the frequency, to quantum jump. And how do you jump? With energy. The next thing is they most probably came to your life is the karmic release. So many of you might be in a relationship that is finished, that is over. Your marriage, your relationship, it's over. But you haven't got the courage to do that. You haven't got the courage that, okay, now this is over. It's time for me to go on the next stage. And then happens that you meet your twin. And it's like a push for you to change and shift. It's where you feel like, now I'm ready for this. I have been suffering for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, but now it's over. Because they came to tell you the truth. So just actually in simple words, if I'm going to tell you 3 main reasons your twin came to your life: to teach you about divine timing, unconditional love, and show you the truth. That's it. The rest of it is just an extra there. But when you have been in a karmic relationship, and even in a soul contract that is over, it's finished, they come and show to you that, hey, wake up, it's finished, it's over, no longer exists. Are you ready to shift and change? So, and that's why we see on this journey, and I'm not encouraging this ever. But what I say to you, when you feel something is over, it's over. Let's say the same thing, like I bring a very silly example, but let's say if your pants are broken, then and they are really, really broken, then it's time to let go of the pants. Or if you see that, and it can be your favorite, but once something is over, finished, it's finished. We need to let something new to come. The next thing is, of course, what we are going to learn is in the balancing masculine and feminine energies. We see this in the world, that we are out of balance. Females are too much in the masculine, masculines tend to be too much in the feminine, and that there is so much imbalance of our nature. But now it's time to balance them inside of you, and it will reflect on a 3D. So that's another thing for you to master, that it's not only that you are feminine, and it's not only that somebody is masculine, you have the both energies inside of you. I already spoke about that, but the next thing is raising your frequency. Already on that moment, and that's why many of you are saying, I don't know if I'm ever going to feel the same way as I did with my twin. I know I said that. I said, there's no way I'm ever going to feel the same way as I did on that moment. I never felt something like that. It was so divine. I felt like I'm alive. Every single cell of my body was alive. But here is the truth. You can feel the same way, and even better, and even bigger, and even more connected. I like to say that this was kind of like a beginning. Maybe the only difference is that when it happens first time, it's always the first time. You know, I have never done any of these things. I'm too chicken in this life. But, you know, if you do paragliding or jumping off from somewhere or doing something that gives you a lot of adrenaline, it's the first time, it's always the first time. The second time is you already know what is coming. So the same is raising your frequency. And that's something so important. And I'm not taking this lightly. Your frequency is your currency. Everything you consume, everything you read, every person you exchange with, everything you do either uplifts your frequency or brings it down. And that's why when I got into the Kundalini activations, because I realized, took me quite some time to realize this, just to say, I am slow. I'm slow too on this journey. Just to say that, I realized that when I met my twin, that what happened. The Kundalini was activated on this moment. And that's why there was so much high. That's why I felt so good. That's why I felt so connected. That's why the time and space didn't exist. I was in my body. I was in my element. Like nothing else happened. And when I started training for the Kundalini activations, and I realized, here is the thing. Here is the key element. That's why all of my my sessions are with an energy activation, is to uplift your frequency. Because the moment you uplift the frequency, you get new information. You are aligning with the truth that it has to come from there. You're aligning with the better outcomes. The truth about channeling as well, like I say, that you have all of these possibilities. All of them are there. We have infinite possibilities. But when we don't shift and change our frequency, we can't tap into that. And this is another thing I would like to say to you, that how many times have you, in a sense of felt in your life that it's impossible that it's going to happen? Let's say you were about to get the job and you felt it's impossible, I'm going to get there because of this and this and this. And then boom, you're getting it. Or you're meeting a person who's going to change your life forever and you're like, what? How did I even meet? Because you were on that frequency. You were ready to receive from there. And so many of you are asking me, how is it possible to happen? It's about you tapping into that frequency, and now you stay on this frequency. The moment you go into the doubt that that's not real, no, that's not working, no, it's never going to happen, what is the result? That is the result. Often when I have the first calls, and of course later on I have a full 1 hour activation, but first calls I do the mini activation just to help you to cleanse some energies. And it's funny that I've started to notice that people who haven't done any energy work before, and there's nothing wrong, believe me, I didn't believe any of these things. If you would have told me today that go and talk about twin flames, go and change and shift your energy, some lady will move the hands and will come and do... Give me a break. I would have said a good story. That's, that's what it is. But it's funny how life likes to test you within these things. You laugh at something or you think like, yeah, whatever. Let them live in the la la land. And then the life is like, okay, let me show you. Let me show you that. And then that's what's going to happen. Well, that's happened to me. I'm just going to be very, very honest. I wouldn't have believed any of these things. I remember, so going back to the beginning of the journey as well, when I told you, if someone would have walked up to me and said to me when I had the soul realignment done, that, oh, so I did that in January, around the same time, ended at end of January. And then pretty much a month later, I met my twin. I mean, calling it coincidence, let's call it a coincidence. I don't even have words. You see, like I'm getting a little, that happened to me. But I am a big fan of raising frequency, and that's why the next session in Patreon those who come on a live session, will do the soul alignment, soul purpose, aligning within you. And you can do that anytime as soon as it's uploaded there. But then you have 21 days program that comes from there, which will be for those who are the members. But you can purchase this just by your separately as well if you cannot make it. So this is the thing. Your soul purpose, you're raising your frequency. The next thing is a self-mastery. You're starting to learn to master your own emotions, thoughts, behaviors, and you start gaining the control over the past version of you and the new version of you. Meaning of, you will no longer be engaged in the habits that you were doing before. Some of you can quit smoking. They'll be like, I don't know, I smoked my whole life and now I don't want to even touch it. Or some of you been drinking, or like I have always said, I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink coffee. I'm a pretty boring person. So, and all of the energy is inside of me. I don't need the coffee to wake up. I don't need in between. It's what I do in between. I meditate. So much power and so much caffeine. I'm a bit crazy today, am I? I don't know what's happening. Maybe the energy activation was cut into my head today. Like, okay, let this crazy get more crazy. But also, so this is another thing. Just to say that you are going to learn to self-master yourself. And in a very, very good way. You might start working out more. You might start eating healthier. You might start reading books never interested you in before. But all of these are frequencies. And another day I had a very interesting, with an older man. And again, I say, people come to my life out of nowhere. And he's very successful. He has built many companies. He has a very nice home life. In that sense, he's been married to 40 years. He has children and all of that. And he just looked at me and said, I like how you see the world through energy. And I said, oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. And he said, my success of my early days were the books I read and the energy I got from there. I studied them, and I studied the way their energy was. And so all the leaders and all the CEOs and all of that, and said, I came from nothing. I came from the parents who were alcoholics and they had nothing. But I studied these people and their energy. And when I read that book, it shifted and changed me. And I was like, that's true. When people ask me, I'm not saying I'm the smart person. I believe we all are smart in all the ways. I am completely stupid in some other ways. So it's not about I think I'm an intelligent one. But why I read is the reason of every time I have read something that there is a truth in it, it shifts and changes me. It completely changes everything. And that's why, again, I'm just going to say for this year, try to take it. If you haven't read The Power of Now yet, if you haven't read The Alchemist, And others can put some other books they read in 2024 to recommend. Do yourself a favor. Secret, for example. I read again Secret. Another day I was like, okay, I'm going to read this because I was out of books, to be honest. I had no new books, and I said, okay. I've read one book millions of times. Anyways, and when he told me that, it then was another click. We use music as a frequency, and then we use words as in the books, or even if you listen on audio, you use these words to make this frequency happen if you connect with that. And that's why I also say that why I disagree of any kind of block, delete, all of that, because how can you manifest from the place of lack? If it's too much for you, if the obsession is too much, that's a different story, and that I've been talking a lot about on different things. But how can you, if I, let's say books are giving me the source of energy. When I do energy, let's say the Kundalini activations, we use music and the frequency and the vibration to uplift the vibration. Einstein have said that the future medicine is a sound. So none of these things are like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't believe this before. So just to say that I'm not here to convince you. But I've seen the pattern. And I've seen that pattern in my life. I've seen the pattern in other people's life. And that's why all I do is like I was maybe universe made me to be the testing rabbit or testing mouse before. And now everything that worked for me, I'm giving it to others. All of the workshops, all of the retreats, all of the things. Most of the things I do it out of my free time. That's why people ask me why we don't see you ever. And I'm like, because I am somewhere of serving, and sometimes it's a bit unfair, but it's important to serve. Anyways, there are a few other things. You're gonna activate your soul gifts. Many of you have so many talents that you didn't even know that are inside of you. But when you met your twin and that Kundalini energy, that oneness energy, activated. And now you're going to serve the world. Now you're going to show who you are. And it can be in a minuscule level and it can be in a grand level. It doesn't matter. But that energy is priceless. That connection. So think of this again, like this is your source. Your source of being a better version. Your source of being in alignment. Your source of doing what you're supposed to do. So when you go to ego of blocking, unblocking, doing this, doing that, I agree that it's painful to watch. Let's say your twin is at a family or a holiday. Or it's painful to watch that they never respond to you. Or it's painful. I totally understand that, and I'm not here to judge. Take that moment for pain, connect with that, feel that, and then say thank you. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for showing me that love that is now transforming, because that's the beauty. I'm so proud and incredible what I saw last year. We did 1 year of almost workshops, a little bit less. Let's say we started in April, so what it is coming down to 8 months. 8 months of workshops. Then there was a retreat. The transformation these people have changed and shifted. Wow. It's incredible. And now I really feel that, okay, I didn't imagine this. It was not something I came up with. It's real and it's changing and shifting. And as long as my body is a vessel, as long as I have the voice, I'm going to give it. That's what I do. So that is that your soul gifts are coming up. And then, of course, the soul union experience. You're going to feel what it is to be in oneness. You're going to feel what lives in the unity of consciousness. And that the true soul union feels like you are in oneness. That's why you feel them. That's why you hear them. That's why you have all of this. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey at all. But when you connect with that, you are going to have the union, the love, and everything. But let me remind you one thing. It's not an overnight process. So just come to the moment of thinking, it's a new year. I would like to change my frequency. I would like to shift. And I'm going to invest my time, my energy, my currency into that. So don't think of the outcome. Think of it how well in your frequency what you can attract and what is the truth you're looking forward to. So here were a couple of now things that I wanted to tell you the reason why you met your twin. Yes, and now we can say that one thing is to be in a loving union relationship. That can be there too. Totally. Sooner or later it's there. Just don't go into the place of hate, anger, and disappointment or judgment. Okay, let's wrap it up for today, and I hope you find this useful. I hope you had a time to reflect on everything of your journey, whether you have been on this journey 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. That you had a time to think of it. That's why my twin came. And it's so obvious, but I couldn't see this behind the pain. And if you didn't, that's okay too. Hopefully I see you on 12th of January. And I know some of you have a birthday. And also all the Capricorns, because I know so many of you have a birthdays right now. I have so many beautiful Capricorns in this group. So I just want to wish you collectively happy birthday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing all of your beautiful side to this world. And yeah, 12th of January, we will be a live session again. So you will see that on Patreon. We are back for this. Those who would like to join us for Costa Rica, get your chance. There's no better chance to divinely unite feminine and masculine energies and field energies to see how it is real. And so all the information are links in bio on the website. You have a chance to see how was the Cyprus retreat. The movie is coming out as well, any times, any days. And yeah, those who would like to have a call, those who feel like I need to have more clearance, I need to understand it a little bit better, or I just need to breathe, then twinflameawakeningjourney.com is over there. I'm more than happy to connect with you, more than happy to hear from you, more than happy to exchange the energy. Anyways, that was today's episode. I'm thankful you were here. I hope you find it useful. I hope it brings you more clarity, and I see you very soon. Lots of love and light.